Hello, I'm Courtney, and today I am going to be reviewing Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. So this is actually the second time I'm filming this review because last week I filmed this 25-minute review and I tried uploading it to YouTube 3 different times and YouTube just wasn't accepting it, so I took it as a sign that I need to redo this review. And I wasn't happy with the first video that I filmed. I literally just rambled on and it was just a hot mess, so I'm glad that YouTube didn't accept the original video, so now I can do this better. But I am going to be talking about Kingdom of Ash, the final book in the Throne of Glass series. I loved Kingdom of Ash and it just gave me everything I didn't realize I needed in my life, and it was just so unexpected and I was just so shook, and everything about it was just like so great and awesome and heartbreaking and just all the feels. If you haven't read Kingdom of Ash yet, then you are missing out on a lot of crazy stuff. Sarah did a phenomenal job with this book and you guys definitely need to pick it up. But if you haven't read it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, I would leave right now. So goodbye, non-spoilerly people. Alrighty, so Kingdom of Ash. Oh my god. So since this is my second time filming this review, I now know what to discuss and what not to discuss, because this book is nearly 1,000 pages long and I do not have to talk about everything. So I'm going to talk about what was personally important to me, or what I loved or hated, just like what mattered to me. First, I just have to talk about aelin for a moment because I made a whole rant video about him, so I feel like, you know, since I did that, I kind of have to address how I feel about him now. So after reading Kingdom of Ash, I can say that I don't hate aelin anymore. I definitely think I was way too harsh on him and just noticed every little mistake he did, and I was like, oh my god, you're a terrible person. Like, I dragged this boy through the mud hard. But just because I don't hate him anymore doesn't mean that I like him, because I still think that he has done some terrible things, especially, you know, what he did at the end of Empire Storms. Plus, there's a scene in this book where aelin throws a naked Lysandra into the snow, and that drew a line for me. It's honestly so surprising to me that I don't hate aelin anymore, because so many of the things he said and did in the beginning of this book were just crazy. Like, he treated Lysandra so badly, he was so mean to her and thought all this bad stuff about her, and then he threw her into the snow, and I was like, oh my god. But what makes me not hate him anymore is that, you know, he immediately regretted the things he said and did, especially to Lysandra, you know, and he was very angry at himself for what he did, and he just learned a lot about himself from these mistakes, and he definitely grows after these moments, and by the end of the book he is a changed person, and I just have to give him credit for doing that. And in the end, aelin and Lysandra do end up together, which I wouldn't say I'm exactly happy for them, but I'm not like going to wish that they weren't together, because all I've ever wanted for Lysandra was for her to be happy, and if that's with aelin, then I'm going to accept it. The next thing that I want to talk about is Dorian. This is the first Throne of Glass book that I have ever read that I actually disliked Dorian. Dorian has been my favorite boy ever since I read the first book. Like, I've loved him in every single book. He's just so precious to me. I think he's like the best guy in the world. I love him. But in Kingdom of Ash though, he really got on my nerves. What bothered me with Dorian is that he is so determined to go to Moras, which is basically, you know, Erewhon's headquarters, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Moras, and I'm gonna get the third key, and then I'm gonna sacrifice myself, and I'm like, dude, I don't want you to die, so can you please, like, not? And before Dorian decides to go to Moras, he has this, you know, very deep, intimate conversation with Manon where she is open to him, because before they were honestly just friends with benefits, okay? But then Manon openly admits that, she wants him to stay and that she cares about him, and she even proposes marriage to him, and, they have sex, and it's like their first intimate moment together. It feels like, he's going to stay, but then the boy leaves. I really wanted to slap Dorian in that moment because I really thought he was gonna stay, and I was like, oh my god, he isn't gonna go to Morris, like he isn't gonna die, like this is great. And then that boy left the next morning, and I was like, what the actual heck? But all is fine because, he went to Morris and he tricked Maeve into helping him out find the key, which was pretty interesting. And then he sent Morris crumbling to the ground and survived through it all. And I was like, okay, I can forgive you. But y'all, speaking of Manon, I just have to say, I feel so bad for this girl because the 13 died, and that was insane. The 13 died to save Manon and to bring their people home, and it's such a powerful moment because they do that yielding thing and they explode with light, and it was just so powerful. But at the same time, I was like, the 13's dead. Astrid is dead. Manon really goes through a lot in this book, like everyone does, but Manon, she lost these witches that she's been with for centuries, and that was just so heartbreaking. And it was so heartbreaking when everyone brought the flowers to her, and then later on when she was reunited with Dorian, she just like hugs him, and it was just so sad. I honestly don't know if I want Manon and Dorian to like get married, because like the idea is brought up again by Doreen at the end, and Manon's just like, we'll see, we'll see what happens, and then she leaves. And I just, I like them more now as a couple, but like I'm still very skeptical of it because, like I want Dorian for myself. Oh my god, next thing I want to talk about is Yrene freaking Towers Westfall and her defeating Irwan. So I just want to talk about this scene in particular because I'm planning on making a whole Cowl and Yrene video, so I'm not going to really talk about them that much in this, but I have to talk about Yrene defeating Irwan because that was one of the most badass scenes I've ever read in my lifetime. I knew once I read the end of Tower of Dawn that Yrene was going to go up against Irwan. Like, that was just definite. And what is so, like, awesome and powerful about her defeating Irwan is that she did it while being pregnant. This woman can seriously do anything. Like, this girl is expecting a child and she still defeated a Val King. Like, legends only. And I love it when Yrene defeats Irwan and Aelin realizes what Yrene's done and she starts the chant of her name and everyone's just going Yrene, 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 and I was like, oh my god, that's my baby. Like, I was so happy. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the Queen of Tesserin herself, Aelin. I am so just impressed and proud of Aelin and how far she's come because this girl goes through so much in this book and yet she still survived it all. I went into Kingdom of Ash thinking that Aelin was going to die. Like, I was mentally prepared for Aelin to die because we knew that she had to die, or at least someone had to die to forge the lock, and the most logical person was her, plus she was determined to do it. So I was very prepared to finish this book with Aelin being dead. So the fact that she didn't die is still kind of mind-blowing, but I'm so happy that she didn't die because she went through literally like hell itself, and she deserves this heaven of being Queen of Tesserin and being with Rowan and just building this new, better world. Like, she deserves this so much. And can I just say that I now love Rowena, which is like such a weird thing to say because I feel like people kind of assumed that I did, but I actually didn't. Like, I always liked them, but I never actually loved them until now because Rowan is just so soft with her. Like, when they were reunited, Aelin was super traumatized by what happened to her, which is like understandable, but it was just like Rowan was asking to like if he could hold her, and he was just being so nice, and it was just so sweet. I'm also so happy for Rowan because he deserves to be with Aelin too, because he went through so much in this book with her being gone and this guilt he was feeling about his other mate, and just, you know, learning that Maid was a Valkyrie queen, you know, then Gabriel dying. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about that because that was just too emotional for me. But I'm just so happy for Rowan and Aelin because they've just fought their whole lives, and now they finally get to sit down and be in peace. And I love it in the last chapter. There's this cute Rowan and Aelin moment going on, and Rowan starts talking about, you know, rebuilding Tesserine, and he's like, what should our plans be? And Aelin's like, ask me tomorrow, because there's going to be a tomorrow for her because she's alive and she survived everything. And the very end of the book, the A Better World section, is so simple but yet it's so powerful because Aelin is standing on her balcony and she sees the king's flame blooming, which is like this very like rare flower, and like it was mentioned so many times, and I was like, why did they keep talking about this flower? And then turns out, you know, it was super important. But she sees this flower blooming and Rowan comes out and it's like, all of this has been for you, Fireheart. And I was like, oh my god, it was such a beautiful ending. And by the end of it, I was like, that was just like everything I needed and more. And I was just like making all these crying noises, like I just like could not function properly because the ending was just like so good. It was so good. But overall, I loved Kingdom of Ash, and I'm sorry if I didn't talk about something that you wanted me to talk about. I just wanted to talk about things that were important to me, and plus I'm gonna be making like some videos about other stuff, like for example Aelin and Lorcan. I'm gonna make a whole video about the relationship in Kingdom of Ash because I need a whole video to talk about how I feel about those two in this book. But I hope you all enjoyed my review on the last Throne of Glass book by Sarah J. Maas. It's so weird saying that and I don't want to get emotional, but I hope you all liked this video, and I'm Courtney and I'll see you all next time with a new video soon, so I will see you then. So bye!